When it comes to what your family eats and drinks, you know your choices matter. You're the expert because you know what fits your life. And getting it right starts with good information. That's why America's beverage companies are sharing more information about our ingredients at goodtoknowfacts.org. No spin, no judgments, just the facts straight from the experts for more than 140 beverage ingredients. Visit goodtoknowfacts.org.
When did making plans get this complicated? It's time to streamline with WhatsApp, the secure messaging app that brings the whole group together. Use polls to settle dinner plans. Send event invites and pin messages so no one forgets Mom's 60th. And never miss a meme or milestone. All protected with end-to-end encryption. It's time for WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone. Learn more at whatsapp.com.
Broadcasting intimate details and useless information from an undisclosed location in New York City. The Last Show with David Cooper.
What if I told you your tongue is a festering swamp of bacteria, dead tissue, and food sludge, a horror movie hiding in your mouth? But there is something you might be able to do about it. Tongue scraping. I swear by it, and I am joined by a professor at the University of Pittsburgh School of Dental Medicine to discuss all things your tongue and scraping it. Her name is Dr. Martinna Bertolini. Martinna, welcome to the show.
Hey, David. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Let's start with the horror. What exactly is living on our tongues right now? Like, how grossed out should I be in this very moment?
Yeah, so millions of bacteria are there, food debris are there, pieces of the own tongue that keeps sloughing off are there. And the goal of the tongue scraping is, can we get rid of them? Because we don't want them there at all times, right? So the cleaner we can get, the best. And tongue scraping is the easiest way to do it.
What is it about the surface of the tongue that makes it a haven for all this material? Like, is it different than, let's say, my skin or my nose or my teeth?
Yeah, so the tongue is very different. It's actually one of the only surface of the whole body that has what we call papilla. And it's a bunch of tiny little fingers that are there. And as we eat, as the bacteria get around it, food gets trapped in between those papilla. And we don't brush them as usual when we brush the teeth. Or we brush, but not as well. So the tongue scraper is the best way to scrape all these out. We don't want the food debris there, rest in pieces. We don't want bacteria there. Easiest way to get it done is just scraping them out.
If I took a little microscope with one of those little glass slides like I had in high school, and I took what came off my tongue and looked at it, would I regret that forever? Would I have nightmares?
Or maybe you would love it because now you're going to know what is there and then you're going to be more motivated to get rid of it, right? Depends on how you see it.
So as I understand it, there's kind of two benefits here. One, it's like general health, the same reason you'd want to get plaque off of your teeth, but also bad breath. I think that's for me the biggest thing. My worry is that I have bad breath. I know I've seen what's come off the tongue because I do tongue scrape. It's wild. It'll change your life once you see it. But yeah, can you talk to me about these two areas? One, how it contributes to bad breath, and the other, how it might actually just contribute to general health.
Yeah, so on the tongue, we're going to have, as we said, those bacteria, and they'll be producing sulfur compounds, which are smelly gases that will come out of it. So the more bacteria accumulating in the surface of the tongue, the more they will be producing these sulfur compounds, and the more it can give you bad breath. So for most of the patients trying to reduce the bad breath, this is one of the first, most cost-effective and easy-to-do things. They just have to scrape the tongue out and they remove the bacteria, the debris, and with that, they'll reduce the amount of these sulfur compounds. So right off the bat, you're going to be able to reduce the amount odor that you would have in the mouth. And besides that, for many patients, especially elderly population or patients that, let's say, they're in the hospital, during COVID, we saw this a lot. The patients have to be intubated. We don't think about it usually, but the tubes, before they go into the trachea, they pass through the tongue. So we can push towards the lungs thousands of those bacteria. So it can really get important when we talk about hospital patients that need these devices sometimes. So health-wise, for this population, incredibly useful, but also for everyday people like you and I. Why don't we get rid of those bacteria? We're so obsessed with flossing and brushing, and I feel like the tongue scraping sometimes get a little scrape it to the side, and people don't talk about it so much.
Tongue scraping gets scraped to the side. We should be teaching kids to do this. And a little quick brush with the toothbrush isn't enough. You can buy these things. They're like $5 and they're life-changing. I do have a theory, and I've never talked to anyone who's a medical professional about it, and I want your opinion. My girlfriend, Miranda, when she sticks out her tongue, whether she scrapes it or not, it's this perfect pink tongue. She doesn't get the white plaque that I scrape off. And so I have a theory that some people's tongues are less porous than others. And people like me who have porous tongues get a lot of bacteria in there. And she has what I'll call a perfect pink Hollywood tongue. Is it true that some tongues get more bacteria and require scraping a little bit more than others?
Yeah, some tongues are different, and we see these a lot with patients, especially smoking patients, because of the nicotine and everything, the microaggressions. Their tongue tends to be a little bit more rough. So people also have different tongues, but exactly right. As I said before, we have the papilla. The higher and more like voluminous they are, more you have spaces for the bacteria and for the food debris to accumulate. So some people might just not have as much papilla, or they might be a little more shallow other than long and scrapey around, right?
I was watching Taylor Swift at her recent tour, and she sticks out her tongue a lot. And when she does, it's like all white and gross. And I'm like, Taylor, you got to be scraping your tongue. We have to be teaching kids to do this. I don't know why my mother taught me to brush, but she never taught me to scrape. Do you think every household should be teaching kids to scrape their tongues?
Yes, and I think actually when we tell people, oh, you can brush the tongue, the process of brushing with the toothbrush, because it's kind of mild, it can give like a gag reflex to people. And because of that, they kind of shy away of using the tongue scrapers, when it's quite the opposite. The tongue scraper is one single movement. You scrape from the back to the tip of the tongue, and it's so more homogeneous, the force, that it doesn't give you the gag reflex. And I feel a lot of people are like, oh my God, if I put a toothbrush in the back of my mouth, I'm going to throw up. It's going to be horrible. I cannot do it. But the tongue scraper is a great way to do it, and it does not have as much gag reflex.
Can you overdo it? Like, can you scrape your tongue so much that you lose all your taste buds or maybe even lose all your dignity? I don't know. Like, can you overdo it, basically?
Yeah, so if you do it a lot and like with too much strength to it, what happens is it might create the reverse effect, and your tongue, to try to protect it, it might grow more this papilla, because at the end of the day, it's a protective way for the tongue, because that's where the hot food coming, it's where you have touched it from the attrite of the food. So it's a protective layer, because if you look underneath your tongue, it's very smooth, doesn't have papilla, it has a completely different feeling. So because of that, the surface, the dorsal surface, the top of the tongue has those protective papilla. So if you do it too much, you might be stimulating the tongue, like, let's produce more, let's grow bigger, so they can try to protect it. So maybe that explains why yours is a little bit more rough than your girlfriend's.
I've overdone it. I probably have. I do scrape too vigorously. Healthy people, do they need to scrape though, or do you just recommend it for breath and possible health through the breathing and things like this that you described earlier?
Yeah, I think so. The good thing and the bad thing of the tongue is it has all this papilla, so they self-disconnect. They come out and they renew. So if you don't do it, at some point you're going to get rid of that, because it's going to disconnect. It's going to slough off. So it's okay. But if you do it, you can have the benefits of having it cleaner. You remove all these bacteria. You remove the bad odor, the sulfur compounds that we talked about before. And some people even say they taste better, the food, because it refreshes all around the area where you have the taste buds. And then with that, the food goes more in easier, and then you can feel more the taste.
And probably we shouldn't eat a whole head of raw garlic every day as well. Is that good advice for bad breath from you?
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm so glad you could join me to advocate for really my favorite oral hygiene activity, Martinna. Thank you so much for coming on the show. This was informative. This was fun. And I think this is exactly what the people needed.
Yes, thanks for having me, and happy scraping.
Happy scraping. And don't, what did you say? Don't let the scraping scrape to the side?
Just
You had
scrape it to the side.
Don't forget scraping. Don't scrape it to the side. Dr. Martinna Bertolini is a professor at the University of Pittsburgh School of Dental Medicine.
Doug. Here we have the Limu Emu in its natural habitat, helping people customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Fascinating. It's accompanied by his natural ally, Doug.
Limu, is that guy with the binoculars watching us?
Cut the camera. They see us.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.